This is the very first training manual that we have produced. It's aimed to bring everybody across the board to the same level, especially recruits up to the private level. It consists of basic fighting skills and formation.
I need ammo!
And so on and so forth. When you got your own time, I highly recommend you read through the whole thing. And WatchTube spent quite a bit of effort in this, so it's quite a detailed manual. So it's ranging from acknowledgements and regimentation, all that, ranking, all that, and all the way to how a fire team and section structures. So a section will have 4 fire teams. First one's being the section headquarter. It's got a sergeant being team leader, and so on and so forth. You guys can see on page 7. And then with each fire team, if you scroll down a bit, let me see which page. Oh, it's on the same page 7 as well. If you see the fire team, the flow chart, there's 1, 2, 3, 4 numbered for each member. Number 1 is a team leader, 2 is the auto rifleman, 3 is the assistant auto rifleman, that's the ammo bearer, 4 is the AT. So you need to remember the 1, 2, 3, 4 numbering system, because that's the numbering system we'll be using later on, doing the fire team drills. And when I say 4 go, so a bit like AT goes, number 2 go, so auto rifleman goes. So that's a numbering for a fire team. Keeps going down a bit. Let's go to section 3 on page 9. When I say page 9, is you need to look at the bottom right corner of that actual page. You see the orange square with a number on it. If you look in the top bar, it actually says 10, because it said, that includes the cover page. That was a bit of a confusion one I had before. So page 9, let's talk about a bit about weapon safety. I've had quite a few incidents that people fire off a rifle in the enemy territory and then ended up giving our positions, and then we ended up being on the back foot, lost the element of a surprise. In order to stop doing that, when we have a weapon loaded, we need to put our trigger finger off the firing button on your mouse. So in the figure you can see, if your index is your trigger finger, you need to place it on the middle mouse button so you don't accidentally fire off a weapon. And when we're in a friendly territory, for example base here, we need to unload a weapon. To do that is press I to go to inventory, remove your magazine and put it in your bag or harness, and then you can see on your actual character you don't have a magazine on your weapon, so even if you do try to fire it, nothing is going to be fired. And also, as a second, or should I say, at all time, you need to lower your weapon when you're around your friendlies. So double press Control to lower the weapon. Those are main things we need to consider. They may be simple, but usually if you don't put into practice, you tend to forget, especially when you're pressing Alt Tab to check other things. When you have your weapon loaded and pointing forward, and you Alt Tab back in the game, boom, it fires it off. Okay, it happens all the time. Now scroll down one more page. Target indications. When we give out target indications, obviously we don't say, oh, I have an enemy there. I have heard that many times in a public server. It makes me laugh big time. So when we want to indicate there's an enemy somewhere there, we need to give out 3 things: the direction, the range, and the description. So it'll say bearing 230, 400 meters, 4 enemies behind house, something like that. So that's 3 pieces of information people can refer to when you call out a target indication. And rules of engagement, as you can all read: fire, free to engage, disengage. It's all self-explanatory. When the team leader yells check targets, you need to always make sure you have a positive ID of your target, because that could be friendly or civilian. We need to keep an eye on that if we are working with other teams together in an AO. And keep going down. FCO, fire control orders. Fire control orders at the range. I wouldn't go through that. Usually people just control officer would just say group 100 meters, target to your front 100 meters, with a round of 30 mags, so on and so forth, which is not applicable to us. We want to use the field FCO, which is it will sound something like a bearing 200, 100 meters, 500 meters, whatever. A couple of enemies behind the stone wall, and rapid fire or burst fire, so on and so forth. As you can read, rapid fire is like one round every 1 to 2 seconds. That's aim shots, boom, 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 like that. Not just rapidly going boom, 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 like that. That's not what rapid means. Rapid is actually aim shots and trying to kill trying to aim for the kill shots. And normal is actually even slower, trying to aim for the head or specific parts. But usually we just go for rapid shots anyway. And keep going down. I'm just flying through this series side of things because from our experience, a lot of people get bored and then they get information overload, so on and so forth. So we prefer to do pracs more. So I'm flying through all this because I know all of you play Arma 3 for a long time. Probably you think what I'm talking about is rubbish. And maybe it's news to you. It's up to you. But I need to bring everyone up to the same standards.
Out of ammo.
So when the team leader does call for an FCO, fire control order, you will know what it means and you will need to obey it because there are reasons for it. We don't want to give you our positions, or we need to control our rounds, etc. Okay, keep going down. Past page 12, that's a loadout. That probably will change in the meantime. Combat zeroing. Can you guys hear me, by the way?
Yep.
Yeah, family.
Good. Okay, I'm just talking to Red Channel, by the way. If you stand close enough, you can all hear me. Combat zeroing, I know all you guys play shooting games a long time. It just basically just means if there's wind, you need to aim off and compensate for the wind. That's what it means. Scroll down a bit more. Difference between bore sight and rifle sight, as you got to keep that in mind, because what you see in your scope is not exactly what your round will land at, purely because of distance between the actual bore and your sight. That's really obvious when you're crouching next to a low stone wall and you are looking at an enemy at the, say, hilltop through your scope, but your actual barrel is not in line with what you see, and you end up firing, but your bullets will hit the wall. So you need to really keep in mind with that, and that gets even more obvious with a M203 grenade launcher. See, it's even lower. And further down, that's one thing we need to remember is, see the picture there, figure 9, with the ARCO the sight. You see the green lines on the sides and the little vertical green line down the bottom, or should I say the gap between just underneath the green triangle. That's where the rounds will land at 300 meters in that little gap just under the green triangle. So that's what you usually aim for, and as the distance gets bigger, you use the 468. Those are the marks, mil dots. But if you're trying to aim for someone at 100 meters, you don't use this gap, because at 100 meters, due to rifling of the round, the round will literally go up and it'll go down. So if you're looking at figure 9, you're aiming at the head of this enemy target with the gap of the triangle, you will miss because round goes up. So in order to use this 4x zoom on the ARCO, you need to use the top tip of this triangle, the tip of the triangle, to aim at someone at 100 meters. Try that out at the 100 meter range later on. You'll see what I mean. So that's what you do. And with the 468, those are obviously in hundreds of meters for the target. See the lines? They're different in sizes. That's the gauge for you to look at an enemy that's facing you at that range. So if an enemy is at 500 meters facing you or facing away from you, you can place those mil dots and gauge how wide the shoulder width of the target is according to your mil dots, and then that's a rough gauge for you to aim off instead of using range finders and all that. So the actual size of the mil dots is a gauge too for distance.
Running low on ammo.
Keep going down. Who joined my channel? Let me check. Who's new here? Stutchy, okay. Alright. We're just going through the sites and people need to remember. Go back to manual. Yep, with a grenade launcher, keep in mind the actual the sight is not 100% accurate. If you go to page 16, sorry, page 18, page 18 and figure 13, you see what your tubing means by combat zeroing. You always need to aim up and to the right compared to the actual landing spot of the grenade. So when you're trying to hit the bunker, you need to aim up and right all the time, like that, or a target, whatever. Try it out at the range later on. As distance gets further, it gets even more obvious. And with AT, PCML, we all know to be able to backblast and kill the teammates. We always need to yell out BBDA clear. BBDA means backblast danger area clear. Then you check all clear, then you fire. We don't want to do any team killing due to any accidents. One thing you need to take home with a PCML is at 100 meters, you need to aim at the target using the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the fifth line down vertically down the sight, because as soon as you fire, the missile will drop, and then the rocket fuel kicks in, fins kick in, giving a lift, and the rocket will go up again. So as you look at figure 17, when you're aiming someone at 200 meters, you're actually using the fourth line, actually higher, not lower like the normal sight, because the fuel and the fins kick in. So remember, at 100 meters, fifth line, 200 meters, using the fourth line, a line above, and then 3, 4, 5, 6, obviously using the lower ones, the missile will drop. And that's the main thing. Engaging targets, we all know the rear is the most vulnerable, least armored, and the side being the biggest area. That's a second preferred engaging side. And we try to aim for stationary targets instead of moving targets. We try not to shoot at targets that's aiming to 45 degrees towards you, because one, the rocket can bounce off at an angle, two, they are moving towards and away from you, and moving according to your sight, it's moving away from you side by side, so it's the hardest. Grenades, yeah, when you throwing a grenade, aiming up 45 degrees exactly, it'll give you a 35-meter range, throwing range. Try that out later on if you want it. And different positions, stances, we all know how to do that pretty much, you know. I wouldn't go into it too much. Just remember there's a difference between alert and high alert. Alert just running around where the weapon's up, still get the crosshair in front of you. High alert, you need to bring the weapon up. And speed, we need to keep in mind we are running creeping speed or fast speed. Yeah, because in urban, usually we can do a creep speed if we want to take it easy. So be mindful of that. All right, now let's do a bit of a prac. Spacing.
So, by default, 5 meter spacing between all team members in any sort of formation. Do you guys all have ST HUD running?
Yep.
Cool. Okay, if we look at the ST HUD at the moment, you see in the very center the almost black circle. On the edge of the smallest black circle, that's 15 meters. And the dark grey circle, one bigger, on the edge of that, that's 30 meters. On the very outside where the direction letters are, that's actually 50 meters. So it's 15, 30, 50. That's what we tried it out earlier. So 5 meters from me to Deadpan Panda, in the same sort of formation, roughly around here. You see that? Roughly around here. We all know the importance of spacing. I've seen people getting taken out by one mortar round. Yeah. So it's quite important. By day, default, minimum is 5 meters. By night is 3 meters. Up to the Seco to change it if he wishes to. And let's do a bit of a formation. The most common formation that we use is obviously the line formation. Everybody spread out, all facing the enemy. Say the enemy is this platform here, the flag. That's what we're doing. But we need to remember the numbering system as well now. 1, 2, 3, 4. So starting from the left, the very left will be number 4. Then to the right is number 1. Another one further to the right is number 3. On the furthest right is number 2. Number 2 is the auto rifleman. 3 is the ammo bearer. 1 is the team leader. And 4 is the AT soldier. Reason for that is number 2 is the gunner here. He's got the best chance to flank the enemy as we move up, so he can flank the enemy from the side. And usually when he's trying to clear somewhere like this, usually we're all right-handed, or in game we are all right-handed. So he can just lean to the right, and then without exposing too much of his body, he can clear behind this structure here, like this. So he doesn't compromise too much. Hence, he needs to stay on the right. And that's the default line. We call it line right. Line left is obviously the opposite to this. So from the very right,
the right person will be number 4. Towards the left will be 1, then 3, then 2. Okay. The second most useful formation is the... Actually, can I just get Klein, Stutchy, and who else would like to volunteer?
Yeah, sure.
yeah, let's do a demonstration just here. A line formation here. I'm number 1. Client, you're number 4. Tom, yeah. Stutchy, go 3. Wastelander, have you done the training, part A training before? No. Marquez, you have, yeah? Yep, copy right. Alright, Marquez, you want to be number 2 for us, just for this demonstration? Yeah, come. Alright. So let's all face the flags. So I'm number 1. Stutchy is number... Hold on. Yeah. All face the flags and line formation. So I'm 1. Stutchy, you can be number 2. Client number 4 and Marquez number 3. So let's adjust that. So from the left will be 4. Then me, 1. To the right is 3. To the right again is 2. Yes, you guys all remembered your numbers. Okay. So enemies in front of us at the flags. This is the line formation within a fire team of 4. From the left, 4, 1, 3, 2, like that. So if we call for a line left, will be a reverse of this. So based on me, I'm number 1. On my right will be number 4. Let's change. On my right will be number 4. On my left will be 3. Left again will be 2. Yes. We use that usually if we decide in certain situations the gunner needs to be on the left hand side, but usually by default gunner is always on the right. Okay. Now the line format, single file formation. File formation is obviously when everybody just turn right. Okay. Team members all turn right at your spot. Yep, that's exactly where we are. So from the front is 4, behind him 1, then 3, at last is number 2. That's exactly what it is. So if we travel forward, number 4 is always the point man. Wherever we go, we will follow him, keeping the distance, so on and so forth. So that's it. That's a single file formation. Okay. Klein, let's go forward a bit. There's a bit more room over there. So let's do the arrow, show them the arrow formation.
Yep.
The arrow formation is, again, left by number 4. So in any formation, pretty much, number 4 is the point man. Everybody go off him. So, yeah, Klein to the right a bit. Yeah, it's good, Klein. Okay. So this, let me show you the arrowhead formation. Arrowhead is like the pointy arrow pointing towards the direction we're traveling. The tip of the arrow at the front is number 4, and then to his right back. 3. And to number 3's back right is number 2. Number 1 will be on his left back. So the gunner number 2 is at the right back of number 3, the third, more to the right, Marquez. Yeah, see where statue is, near the light pole? You go more towards the tower, to the right. Keep going. Yeah, we need to make sure. Yeah, that's it. See, we're starting to form an arrow, pointing forward, pointing towards the choppers. With that sort of spacing. So this way, the point man at front, number 4, is taking point. Number 1 never takes point, because we don't want to lose number 1, he's the team leader, and we don't want to lose number 2, because he's the most valuable, or second most valuable. He's got the gun, the most powerful weapon here. And the team member, the team leader dictates which direction, what speed we're traveling, and we all follow suit behind number 4. Now the V formation is just a reverse of this. So number 4 stay where you are, and all other members travel forward. So to the left front of number 4 is number 1, where I am. And to right front of number 4 is number 3. Yep, number 3 step. And number 2 keep going. Number 2 keep going. Marquez, keep going forward. All the way to the right front of statue, past the stone walls, past the concrete walls. Yeah, that's it. Everybody facing the chopper. Now this is the V formation. V formation, we need to make sure the gunner's on the right hand side, furthest to the front, so he can actually lay down fire. Actually, hold on a sec.
I thought I was
My apologies. My apologies. With this V formation, I need to take where Klein was. I need to be at the bottom of V, not Klein being the
Bottom of V.
Klein needs to stand where I was. Yeah, that's Klein. Okay, I'll go to here. So to my right front is number 3 man, and to the furthest right front is number 2 man. That's it. Now this way, as a number 1, I can control my members, and because number 2, the auto rifleman, as the furthest front, he can lay down fire, providing a suppression fire for the rest of us 3, while we're moving to the line formation, facing the enemy choppers if there are enemies over there. That's what's the purpose of the V formation. But usually we use a line and a single file the most.
Okay, further down. Alright, further down the contact drill. Let's do a bit of a prac with the formation, then we go to the range, 100 meter range. How's that?
You guys, Wastelander, Deadpan, AC, and Blushing Crow, you guys will be a fire team of 4. So I'll assign you numbers. So Wastelander will be 4. Deadpan, you'll be 1. AC 3, and Blushing Crow 2. Remember all your numbers. That's your number in the fire team. Now let's all face the choppers. So the enemies are the choppers. Let's form a simple one, a line formation. So from the left will be number 4. And to the right will be 1. To the right again will be 3. To the very right will be number 2. This is the line formation facing the enemy. Now let's change the formation to a single file formation facing the choppers. So at the single file, the very front man is number 4. So number 4 man, walk forward a bit, yeah. And behind him is number 1.
Then behind him is number 3. At the last is number 2.
Marquez, remove your magazine from the rifle, please.
Is it done?
Thank you, user.
Cheers. Okay, yep, that's how we change from a line to a single file formation. Now let's try an arrowhead formation. So at the very front tip of the arrow is number 4. And then at back left is number 1. Back right of number 4 is 3. And furthest to the right is number 2. That's it. We can adjust the spacing a bit later on, but that's the idea of it. Yep, that's right. Now let's try the V formation. So starting from the bottom of the V tip, that's number 1. So number 1, go to the bottom of the V tip. Yes, just stay there where you are, number 1. And then to his left front is number 4. To number 1's right front is number 3. And further forward to the right, number 2. Chloe, you number 2?
Chloe, number 2?
Yeah, so that's really even from this distance further away.
Okay. You need to go, as a V formation, you need to go further forward instead of number 3. More, a lot more.
Oh, we're doing a V.
Yeah, V formation. Don't run too far. Yeah. Aside. And make sure you form the straight beta. Hey Steve, come back a bit. That's a bit too far. Don't go too far. Hey Steve, you need to basically go side by side with number 4 to your left, where I'm standing. Come here. Stand where I am, hey Steve, facing the chopper. Yep, that's right. Crow, you're right. So if I'm looking from bird's eye view, you guys are forming a V facing the chopper. Okay, that's what it is. Number 2, the AR, Crow, you have the best chance to lay down the fire if the enemy contacts us, while the rest of 3 members can get into position and get into a line formation. So that's the purpose of this. Alright. Okay, with enough said, that you guys all have mags in your inventory? Okay. Rightio. Let's all go to the 100 meter range and let's do some prac.